My guy, Chris Hummer, great to see you again. We'll start with Payton Thorne's commitment to Hugh Freeze. We mentioned earlier he'll be competing with starter Robbie Ashford, who has some experience there, Redford freshman Holden Gariner for the starting spot. How does his addition impact the quarterback room down on the Plains?
Auburn added Payton Thorne for a reason. They need a guy. They've been looking for a guy the entire offseason. They swung and missed on a couple guys in the winter window. I can think of somebody like Devin Leary, Grayson McCall didn't work out, but they finally got their dude in Payton Thorne, and I expect him to start. He's a big upgrade to the quarterback room, multiple-year starter, an experienced guy for a quarterback room that really lacked it last year. Robbie Ashford, who has a really high ceiling, can get better, but he still finished last in the SEC last year in terms of adjusting completion percentage. Auburn's offense ranked 117th nationally in passing yards per game. It was a mess. Payton Thorne helped stabilize everything for Auburn. There's a reason they targeted him in the portal. He is a person who ranked 32nd nationally in QBR last year. He takes care of the football. He puts the team in the right spots. It's going to be a huge upgrade for Hugh Freeze, who has done a lot with probably worse options at quarterback in his past than somebody like Payton Thorne.
Speaking of Big Ten transfer quarterbacks, Chris, obviously Casey Thompson is one, and Auburn appear to be in the mix there now with Payton Thorne in the fold. What's next for the former Longhorn and Cornhusker in Casey Thompson?
Something pretty familiar for Casey Thompson. He's heading to FAU on Tuesday for an official visit. FAU is obviously coached by Tom Herman, who was Casey Thompson's initial head coach when he started his career at Texas. I don't know if everybody remembers, but Casey Thompson blew onto the scene in 2020 in the Alamo Bowl when he was flawless and kind of garbage time in replacement of Sam Ehlinger. Everybody kind of marked Casey Thompson as the next dude for Texas at that point. And Tom Herman was still the head coach for Texas during that bowl game. Steve Sarkisian came in. Casey Thompson got hurt. His career kind of diverged from there. But they have a chance to get back together with Casey visiting on Tuesday. I really like where the Owls sit. FAU returns more returning production than any team in the group of five next year. All they're missing is an impact starting quarterback, and I think it makes a lot of sense for both sides if Casey were to reunite with a familiar face and go to FAU, start right away, and potentially put together a healthy season and put his name back out there on the NFL radar.
All right, Chris, staying on the quarterbacks here, Maalik Murphy received quite a few looks after his breakout spring game in Austin, and you just wrote a great story. Everybody go read it on the website about why Murphy decided to stay at Texas despite the logjam of quarterbacks on the roster. Chris, how important was it for Steve Sarkisian to keep Murphy for at least one more season?
It's huge. People remember last year, Quinn Ewers got hurt against Alabama in week 2. Hudson Card came in and did a really able job after that. Texas went 2-2 in that stretch, but they lost by one possession to Texas Tech and Alabama. Texas could have easily been 4-0 with Hudson Card under center. And if they didn't have Hudson Card, or if this year they didn't have Maalik Murphy, they would be relying on somebody like a true freshman, Arch Manning, who is obviously really ballyhooed as a recruit, but is coming from very small school classification football in Louisiana. I think he's somebody that could use some time this season on the bench. And Maalik Murphy is about as high a ceiling as a backup as there is in the country. I think keeping Malik is huge for Texas, not only for this year, but moving forward in the future too. I think an ideal scenario for Texas would be Quinn Ewers starts in 2023, goes to the NFL. Maalik Murphy maybe starts in 2024, goes to the NFL. And then Arch Manning takes over as a redshirt sophomore in 2025. Quarterback rooms don't always work out like that. The best plans often go by the wayside when you're talking about quarterback recruiting and quarterback management. But Maalik Murphy has that type of talent to stay at Texas and eventually start. So it's huge for them to keep him in the fold.
A really interesting dynamic, and I remember Maalik Murphy as a high schooler, he embraced that challenge. He knew that Steve Sarkisian was going to draw the top quarterbacks in the country year in and year out. And obviously him staying in Austin is a clear indication that he's embracing that challenge. Chris, let's get into some of the top players on the list of best available. Running back Alton McCaskill, you liked Coach Prime to eventually land the Houston running back transfer. You put in that crystal ball for McCaskill to end up with the Buffaloes last month, but now a number of other schools have entered the mix. What's the latest with McCaskill?
I would still put my crystal ball in Colorado, but maybe a little less positive than I was a couple weeks ago when he first entered, when all the buzz was about Colorado. Alton McCaskill, as 24/7 Sports reported, visited Arizona State last week. Arizona State last week, and he was just on campus at Florida for an official visit. I've heard that Florida visit went really well. It'll be interesting to see how Alton McCaskill evaluates that running back room. Florida is loaded at the position. Arizona State and Colorado are a little bit more desperate for a impact running back like Alton McCaskill. I think this weekend's going to be key. He still has an official visit to Colorado if he wants to make it. I still hear good things about where Colorado sits, but if he doesn't show up on campus at Colorado this weekend, it could mean things are trending in the wrong direction for the Buffaloes in this recruitment.
Another popular name in the portal was Jaylen Key, the safety transfer from UAB. Since entering the portal on April 24th, his process has really picked up, Chris, especially with some interest from FSU. What are you hearing about his transfer recruitment?
Jaylen told me earlier today he's down to 3 schools, Florida State, Alabama, and Ole Miss. He'd originally been considering trips to Ohio State and Oregon this week. He's decided to narrow things down. He's at Alabama today, actually. It's his second visit to Alabama since he went in the portal. He was on campus for an unofficial when Tyler Buckner was on campus, actually, and Tyler Buckner eventually committed to the Tide. Alabama's the team entering the portal process, I heard, was in really good shape for Jaylen Key. I think Alabama's still in excellent shape here, but Florida State has made a really hard push. I would turn Florida State and Alabama as the 2 teams to beat here. Both are offering a lot of playing time and obviously a step up to the Power 5 level in the ACC and the SEC. So it'll be interesting to see how that Alabama visit goes, but I like where Alabama and Florida State sit currently.
All right, one of the best in the biz right here, Chris Hummer. Thanks for your time. Thanks for all the insight. And for all of the best recruiting intel, make sure you purchase an annual VIP membership with us. You'll get the news before anybody else does. Make some friends on the message boards. That's always a fun time. And you can read some great feature stories too. Hold your phone up to the screen right now. It'll take you straight to our website where you can sign up. You'll also get access to Paramount Plus. Great dealer, guys.